Meet one of Formula One's living legends, Lewis Hamilton. Considered one of the greatest race car drivers of his generation, Hamilton is as competitive as they come, having had the desire to become a world champion since his karting days as a child. And once he got a taste of success on the circuits of world racing, he's done whatever it takes to come out victorious again and again, whether you like it or not. He's fashionable and ferocious, combative and conniving, but he's no match for the truth. Motorsport has always been synonymous with the high life. The fast cars, the luxury toys, perhaps a mansion in Monaco, and a model by your side. That lifestyle might seem to be a surreal fantasy for someone from, say, Stevenage, a somewhat bleak and uninspired town north of London. Designed as the UK's first new town after World War II, it now lends its land to one of the largest heavy metal festivals in the world. Stevenage native Lewis Hamilton sped out of the small town in his teens thanks to his talent for racing cars, and now calls Monaco home. Not to be outdone by his fellow Formula One colleagues, he's had many a model or celebrity by his side, the longest-lasting one being American pop star Nicole Scherzinger, who was his fling for 7 years, before he realized he didn't want a serious relationship. "My cars are my babies," he confessed. Since then, his long list of ladies have included television personality Kendall Jenner, singer Rihanna, and models such as Hungarian Barbara Palvin, and the intriguing Winnie Harlow. Which means Hamilton has to dress as slick as he drives to keep up with the ladies.
I personally like to be relaxed, so when I'm at home, I'm very casual. I don't feel the need to have to dress up for, or go out my way to dress up for anyone else. But I love, when I go out to dinner with a girlfriend, she's always looking incredible, so I have to make sure that I can at least kind of get close to her level so that we look like we match.
He may feign an inferiority complex compared to the breathtaking beauties by his side, but having signed a 3-year deal in 2015 with Mercedes worth more than £100 million, he's likely to resolve the clothing dilemma rather easily. Coming up, chasing the checkered flag. Whether it be in a car or on foot, few things get social media talking more than a police chase. In the world of auto racing, the Formula One social media title race sees Lewis Hamilton head and shoulders above the rest. As of the end of 2016, Hamilton had 11.3 million followers between Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's more than double the next man on the F1 list, Fernando Alonso, and former teammate turned young pensioner Nico Rosberg. In 2016, despite winning one more race than Rosberg, Hamilton fell short to the German in the chase that really matters, that of the Drivers' Championship crown. He may have finished second on points, despite setting a record by winning 10 races without taking home the title, but he intends to have the mathematics work in his favor in the future.
You have to approach the season with the mentality that you're going to win. You're like, I'm going to do this. When I'm training for the winter, it's like, I'm going to win this. You envisage yourself crossing the line first. So it's from the beginning is what you're thinking about it. You're never for a second doubting or thinking, hey, I might not get it. You're thinking, I'm going to apply myself and I'm going to take it.
Hamilton has applied himself and taken the title more than once, making him arguably one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time, and a man destined for greatness. Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton was born in January 1985, and after showing a passion for radio-controlled cars as a youngster, Father Anthony gave him a gift that would change their lives forever.
My dad had 4 jobs at one stage to keep us racing. When I was 8, he bought me a go-kart, a very, very old go-kart. He resprayed it and he rebuilt it to make it look like it was new. We won the first 6 races we did, and then we just kept going.
With the championships came confidence. When he was just 10, Hamilton met then McLaren chief Ron Dennis and declared, "Hi, I'm Lewis Hamilton. I won the British Championship, and one day I want to be racing your cars." He soon did. Dennis signed Hamilton to the McLaren Driver Development Program in 1998, and the prized editions slayed the competition in a discipline he still draws upon for inspiration.
If I didn't have go-karting, I wouldn't be able to drive like I do today. So the wheel-to-wheel racing that you have, because they race so closely in karts, really enables you to figure out how to outsmart the guy in front of you, brake in zones, and all these different technical skills that you learn. You learn them all from go-karting.
In 2007, Hamilton was confirmed a McLaren driver alongside Spain's Fernando Alonso. But rather than play second string to the defending double world champion, Hamilton quickly made a world-class impact. After a 3rd place and a series of seconds, he won his first Grand Prix in Montreal.
Well, to win your first Grand Prix is something you work for so many years, and 13 years of working and racing cars, go-karts. It's been a long, long journey, and to finally get there and to finally achieve your main goal, which is to win, get on the top step of that podium, is a great accomplishment and an extremely emotional experience. And
Looking down and seeing my dad looking up and just really proud of me was pretty cool.
Someone who didn't think it was cool was Alonso. With Hamilton already showing his competitive and rather contemptible side, tensions between the two flared. By the end of 2007, Hamilton would finish second in the drivers' standings by 1 point, securing the record of youngest World Drivers' Championship runner-up. Alonso, on the other hand, secured an exit from the team. Hamilton became McLaren's go-to guy in 2008, and he had history on his side to prove their trust was warranted.
in my past, every second year has been double as strong as the previous year. And if you can see what I've done this year, next year I should be stronger if history serves right.
For Lewis Hamilton, 2008 would be a year of many firsts. For one, he'd suddenly have to deal with a newfound status as a celebrity.
I walk places and I come back to my normal life and I see myself as a normal guy. But other people don't see it that way.
That's because he'd soon reveal that he wasn't normal at all. Hamilton clinched the F1 World Championship by 1 point over Felipe Massa in a thrilling closer, becoming the youngest title winner ever. He was also Britain's first world champion since Damon Hill in 1996. To top it all off, Hamilton ended the year by visiting Buckingham Palace, where he was awarded an MBE in honor of his achievements in the sport. But then, almost inexplicably, Hamilton's career would veer off the track. 2009, and the year couldn't have started worse. Having been disqualified from the Australian Grand Prix for providing misleading evidence during a steward's hearing, Hamilton finished the year 5th. 2010. Driving alongside Jenson Button, Hamilton was involved in suspect incidents with Valery Petrov, Sebastian Vettel, and even Fernando Alonso once again. He'd finished the year in 4th and was forced to watch Sebastian Vettel break his youngest title winner record. 2011. After calling Red Bull just a drinks company, the season was marred by frequent verbal battles with Felipe Massa. Meanwhile, that drinks company would win the title again, while Hamilton finished 5th. And 2012. More volatility from both racer and race car. He ended the year 4th. In 2013, Lewis Hamilton and McLaren parted ways, with the Brit signing with Mercedes-AMG Petronas Motorsport.
To know that I'm a part of Mercedes world, again with the Silver Arrows, it's a real privilege. You know, I'm so grateful to be welcomed into the team and really excited.
But the excitement probably wore off quickly as Hamilton ended the year in 4th place. Then 2014 came along.
I have lots of positives being here, you know. I feel like we've done everything we could possibly do through a winter and achieved everything we've wanted to achieve through the winter. But we just don't know where. You know, we prepared in the best way we can be. We've not left one stone unturned. So I'm hoping that reflects in our results.
It definitely did. Hamilton would win 2 straight F1 drivers' titles in 2014 and 2015, becoming the first British driver in history to win consecutive F1 World Championships, and the second of his nation to win 3 titles after Jackie Stewart. With his 2015 title, Hamilton proved that he was indeed one of the greatest drivers the Formula One world has ever seen. But it came at a personal price. Because for all the colleagues that he rubbed the wrong way over the course of his career, no rivalry was more intriguing than that with his childhood friend turned teammate and foe. After the break, from ally to enemy.
Ich bin ja heute Morgen schon gefahren, hat sich super angefühlt und dann heute Nachmittag fährt dann der Lewis.
Yeah, what he said.
In 2013, Lewis Hamilton joined forces with close friend Nico Rosberg, and on paper, it seemed like a match made in brotherhood heaven.
I could barely sleep last night. It's quite an exciting day for us. The launch of the new car and to be new teammates with Nico. We were just saying how crazy it is because we used to be teammates back in 2000 when we were go-karting. So it's a dream for me to be back here as his teammate.
In fact, the two forged a curious friendship back in their formative karting years, one of racing together while competing against each other. They would even have races to eat pizza, always eating 2 at a time, said another former racing teammate of the past, Robert Kubica.
I have a good relationship with Nico. We live in the same building, so we're next door neighbors. Just before Christmas, I went around his. I didn't have any food in the house, so I went up and his girlfriend cooked for us. But I was teammates with him many, many years ago when we were actually part of AMG. We were sponsored by AMG in karting, so I've known Nico for many years, and I'm really looking forward to working with such firstly a great guy, but also a great talent.
But for the Mercedes outfit, this twosome quickly became troublesome.
It is clear that if you put two competitive drivers in the same team and they have a shot at the championship, that it's not always going to be an easy ride.
In 2014, after an exchange of questionable passing attempts between the dynamic duo in China and Spain, things would get ugly at the Monaco Grand Prix. Though Rosberg was cleared of any wrongdoing, Hamilton claimed the German got in his way as he attempted to claim pole. Rosberg eventually won the race. Hamilton was later asked if the race would strain their friendship, to which he bluntly replied, "We're not friends." Then at the Belgian Grand Prix, the two collided, leading the British driver to accuse Rosberg of deliberately crashing into him, though Rosberg claimed otherwise.
I've been told what Lewis said in the press and the way he has stated his version of the event. I mean, all I can say is that my view of the events are very different.
No matter whose side of the events you were on, at the end of the year, the stats didn't lie, and it was Hamilton who came out on top for the second time in his career.
I don't think you ever want to have it easy. You know, you always want to have a fight. Easy championships won. I just don't know. They're just not as... That climax, you won that climax.
And with that, flash forward to 2015, where the rivalry was renewed once again.
This year's going to be a mental battle again, you know, but it's been a building of many years of racing. So, you know, I've been racing for 22 years, so hopefully with that experience, that will help me be stronger for this year. And I anticipate very much a similar year this year, but of course I'm more aware of what to expect from my teammate.
It's always going to be a challenge, the relationship, you know, it has its ups and downs. We have that base respect, which is important to keep things going, so we can always fall back on that, but it's going to be exciting as always.
Cue the malicious competition. The 2015 Chinese Grand Prix, and second-place Rosberg accuses race leader Hamilton of compromising his own race by slowing down, with the risk of being caught by Sebastian Vettel, who was third. The 2015 US Grand Prix, and Rosberg hit boiling point after being forced wide in turn 1 by Hamilton, who claimed the lead. Post-race, the German took offense to Hamilton throwing a runners-up cap at him by returning the favor.
So you come along and you put someone as capable as Lewis into a car which had the definite edge, and you were bound to have results. And so that's what turned out. I think that somehow he psyched out Nico Rosberg.
Rosberg would finally get his revenge in 2016, when he took home his sole world championship before calling it a career, seemingly leaving the team and his former teammate on good terms.
Well, I plan to be here for another 10 years at least, so...
Also, we are looking forward
to that. Nico's retiring.
If you're looking for a German teacher,
he's the worst German teacher.
I'm looking for a job.
He's the worst German teacher you could have.
And just like that, the rivalry on the track officially ended. And perhaps even the debate as to who was the better driver.
They're both fast guys, and you can see that Nico is very often as quick as Lewis. But I think that Lewis is just that natural racer. With Nico, he can race, and he is a great asset to Formula One and to Mercedes. But somehow you feel that for Lewis, it just happens. Where for Nico, you get the impression that he's got a more logical thought process to making it happen, and maybe that just separates the two performances slightly.
You've all done it.
In winning 3 championships, Hamilton tied a legendary sporting icon and his childhood hero on the all-time title winners list.
Ayrton Senna, the Brazilian driver, he was the guy that I noticed when I was a kid. And I just loved what he did, as firstly how he drove, but how he was as a human being, because he made a big difference in how he inspired the people in Brazil. He was bigger than any football player, any president or prime minister or anyone in the team. He was the most influential person in Brazil, in terms of how he gave back to his country. So I love that.
Minus the godlike status the Brazilian holds, Hamilton is similar to Senna in that they are both F1 leaders in drivers' championships for their nation. In fact, Hamilton has more race victories than any other British driver in the history of Formula One, making him arguably better than any other driver from the United Kingdom. That includes many legends of the sport, like 3-time champion Jackie Stewart, 2-time champions Jim Clark and Graham Hill, even John Surtees, the only man to have won the World Championship on both 2 and 4 wheels. Like Senna, Hamilton is an inspiring figure to many. As Formula One's first black driver, he has become a role model for black and minority ethnic communities who dream of making it big in sport.
Sport has been such a great thing for me in my life, so I know that encouraging young kids and in these different disadvantaged communities, it really does help. It's such a great way of life, and it's such a great way of communicating them, raising kids, and really giving them a future.
It's safe to say Hamilton would like to leave a similar legacy as his racing idol.
I want to be remembered as someone who was just an out-and-out racer. Someone who, someone that cares about the world, someone who cares about kids, someone is very much a family man, and someone just never gave up, and was always a good attacking driver.
Still to come, the makings of a champion.
The breaking news is that Lewis Hamilton has won.
What a season he has had.
Lewis Hamilton has won it.
A Formula One world champion is a sublime sum of its distinctive parts. Just ask Lewis Hamilton.
To win a world championship, you have to have the best teamwork. Every time I'm there and I see the different guys in different departments just energized and just working as hard as they can, it inspires us to do our job even better.
Doing that job better involves the tedious task of driving lap after lap after lap, working on every little detail. For every detail needs to be perfect, including one's helmet.
This is one of the most sacred things for a driver. It's the most important thing. My dad was very nervous when I was racing. You'd watch from the pits, and he wasn't able to see when there's 20 or 30 cars going around the first corner. So it was important that we made sure we had a very bright colour so it was easy to recognise.
A champion also needs to fit snug into his seat.
The seating position in the race car obviously is quite inclined, it's quite comfortable. If you're sitting in the car, it's so easy to fall asleep.
Obviously, that's not advised. But one thing that is self-discipline, an attribute no world champion can lack.
I went in the candy store, a sweet store at the airport the other day, and it's like heaven. I love sweets. And I can't have any of that stuff, but having the control to not just go, I'll just have some for now, and then I work it off. Those kind of things, it's all mental.
And if you thought all that mental strength is dedicated solely to speed, think again. Champions need to make their complicated steering wheels second nature.
It has like 26 buttons and switches altogether. We have our default switches here: pit speed limiter, neutral, entry diff, mid diff, high speed diff,
Whatever you say there, Lewis.
Engine mixture.
Nonetheless, this is just a sample size of all the small and precious things that, when combined with the innate ability to think as fast as your car can speed through an F1 circuit, create the rare breed of race car driver known as a world champion. The life of Lewis Hamilton has been full of high times and low times, of crazy times and down times. But for British racing, and perhaps Formula One racing in general, he's provided the sport with some of its most remarkable times, whether you love him or not. And that is the truth.